Welcome to Surviving Sin City. I'm your host, Tiffany Nielsen, but today you're going to see an interview with Thor Steiger and Sammy Sam. So I will now present the award-winning producer and DJ, Thor Steiger.
Hi guys, how you doing? It's Surviving Sin City with Thor Steiger and my special guest. I'm really excited. The very first one. I'm going to do this once a month with all biggest music producers in the world, or at least in my opinion. Or DJs. And Sammy Sam, who's dropping his, well, we'll go into that in a second. For those of you who don't know who Sammy Sam is, I'm going to let him explain who he is and what he's done. But this is Sammy Sam. There you go.
Hey, how you doing, man? This is Sammy Sam, but my album's coming out of Sammy Vegas, so you can call me both names, Sammy Vegas or Sammy Sam. And, you know, my album is actually dropping tomorrow. So, you know, you could find it all over iTunes, YouTube, my videos, all that stuff, all that great stuff tomorrow.
For those who don't know your past, why don't you tell the fans and the crowd what you've done in the past and who you're formerly with?
Well, in the past, I was in a little boy group in Korea. You know, that was one thing that I did. That's when I was very, very young. Don't get me wrong, I'm not old right now, but I said when I was very, very young. And then I came back to the United States, my homeland, and I joined...
With 2 Grammys.
I came back to the United States and joined a group called, the legendary group called Public Enemy, which they were kind enough for me to accept Asian man in there. And I started performing with them, touring with them. I toured about 80 countries so far with them. I'm still touring with them, and I was blessed enough to get signed to a man named Chuck D. And he is the one who's releasing my album at this point right now, and it's releasing tomorrow. So, you know, and before I get into Public Enemy, I have produced names of major artists. I'll tell you that coming up.
Excellent, excellent. And as far as what you've done in the past, I become a big fan. Your production, you know, for me, listening to what your new stuff is reminds me a little bit of the 80s and the early 90s, and it got me really excited. Because back then everything was a little more fun, not so harsh, and kind of bored in your head, and it was just really there. So, yeah.
You know, I kind of mixed up a lot of music here. You know, everybody goes by the trend. You know, trend is really big these days, and it's like a boiling pot. Once that trend is done, it's done. It's gone. But I just decided to like mix up the whole thing, from the 90s, 80s, 90s till now. Mix up the music and see what happens. Stir it up and see what happens. And you know, that's what my music is all about.
You already know.
You already know.
So back to what you were saying earlier. Chuck D signed you. You were with Public Enemy. And what do you got going on for well, today, tomorrow you have your album dropping. What do you have going on for...
Actually, tomorrow I am on a tour with Public Enemy to San Francisco tomorrow, to Napa Valley. So I am out of here on the day of that I'm dropping my album. But I'll be celebrating over there with my family, Public Enemy, which is great. Chuck's gonna be there. So, and also I have a lot of tours coming up of my own, and
please tell us about it.
With Public Enemy, which first tour is probably gonna be a lot of festivals. I'm gonna hit up a lot of festivals, including, since my ethnicity is Asian, I'm gonna tour around probably a lot of festivals in Asia, including Korea, Japan, China. And guess who's gonna be my DJ? This man right here.
Me, DJ?
This man's gonna be my DJ, supporting, being my spine in the back. You know, I'm just a man who's performing, who's performing in the front, but who plays the music is very important, guys. Who's picking your DJ is very, very important. That's your spine. If he messes up, it messes up the whole show. If I mess up, it's okay because he could back up.
Yes, sir.
You know, so, you know, I pick my DJs very carefully, and this tour, my man DJ Thor is gonna be on with me until the end. You know what I mean?
Excellent. You know, Very blessed, by the way. I'm actually really excited that you were my first guest on the Surviving Sin City show. I'm a big proponent of it, and yeah, this is a good thing. I really much appreciate you. I'm so glad you're on here. You got some other things you want to tell.
My DJ right
Let me ask you a question. I know you're not a DJ, so I won't ask you a DJ surviving tip, but as you know, somebody who's been in this business, left, right, up, down, from a kid all the way up to a grown-up, give me a couple of tips, and I mean, you know, for the younger ones to the older ones, on how to survive in the production world and being an artist.
Well, first, be patient. That's the most important thing. And a lot of people, on the process of being patient, they give up because they don't see a way. They don't. Somebody might, you know, discourage you. Some people might just encourage you too much that you think you're too good, and then later on you find out that you're not that good, whatever. But talent, definitely it takes what it takes in this music industry. You cannot avoid the talent. Second is work. Work. It's just like any other, you go to any other industry, person who works harder than you is going to succeed better. Same thing, any industry, same thing, even in the music industry, you know, unless you get really lucky, hit a lotto, like a lotto kind of type, and you become one hit and you just blow up. Always happens, you know, any industry it happens, you know, but to take the proper steps, patience, hard work, and third of all, is who you know also. I'm not going to lie. You got to know a lot of people and get connected with a lot of people in this industry. Not, you know, you're going to meet a lot of balonies, you know, who's going to sell you the world, who's going to sell you the dream. And you're going to meet people who really cares for you, you know, who's very straightforward. Those kind of people are more hard to open because their mind is more closed and they're going to tell you straight out, you know. But on the other side, Hollywood game, everybody knows. They sell you the world, they sell you the dream, and then nothing happens. You know, I've been through that, I've been crushed by that, and, you know, I'm just telling you from my experience, please be careful with those people, you know.
So you're going to teach me how to survive Korea?
I'm going to teach you how to survive in a lot of countries. And, you know, it's just, it looks very beautiful outside, the shell in this music industry. But it's very, very complicated. There's so much things going on inside the shell.
Starting to learn that.
Yeah, inside the shell. So, you know, gotta know your business. Gotta know what you're doing first. Just because you're talented in music doesn't mean you're gonna make it. You gotta know upside, inside out what you can get taken advantage of, and what gets treated fairly. You know, you gotta know both sides so that, you know, you don't get taken advantage of, basically.
Well, I appreciate you being my first guest. If you don't know, I'm Thor Steiger. A little bit of a wild man for a bit here in this town, but kind of grew up, and proud to be around these people that are making me a better artist. So, you are on Surviving Sin City.
I'll see you next month.
Hey,
Sammy, you already know.
Mr. Vegas.